Hey, what's up, everybody? Saturday and prices are up today. Look at AVAX up almost 5%, XRP about 1%, ICP 3%, Bitcoin's about flat, but Theta's up almost 5.5%. So that's pretty good. Let's take a look at Theta. So obviously the daily chart, I think, like I've been saying for a long time, I think this is we're getting very close to the bottom. So if not already, the bottom is in. The reason why, obviously, the size of that move, right? The length of it, the time of it, the depth of it, everything is screaming it's got to be almost done, right? The size of this and the size of this, right? You got a three-way move. It's the same degree, it's equal, right? So, yeah, I think we're very, very, very close to being finished, if not already finished. So, you got this nice little double bottom here, and this right here slightly took the low, which is really cool because when you turn this on, the daily RSI, we have bullish divergence very strongly there. So, that's cool. And not only that, but you also have divergence. You got triple daily bullish divergence. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, rising, falling. So cool, cool, cool. This is what we want to see. Let's zoom in. So the only thing we're not too sure about is do we have one more wave down because you see 1 2, right, 3 4, do we get wave 5? That's kind of like, that's what we don't really know yet. So this would be the fifth wave of the fifth wave of the fifth wave. Okay, so so you can see. Actually, yeah, so this wave here is 5 waves. So you got like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is not 5 yet though, right? So this fifth wave is a part, that whole wave is the fifth wave of the entire thing. So 1, 2, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, and then this is 5, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then right here you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we get one more little over 5. So yeah, I mean, I think we're there, and I don't even know if we're gonna get it. I think it could be finished now because this looks impulsive to me. Like this was like a three-way pullback. This has a little bit of a base, but an extension. So I don't think we have to, I don't think we're going to make another low. I think this is the low. I feel like there's a very good chance that it's the low. Of course, you can't know for sure. This is not financial advice. I could be totally dead wrong. You could wake up tomorrow morning and Theta could be at 10 cents. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? But I highly statistically doubt that. So, yeah, I think this is definitely one to be looking out for. Remember, think about it from a psychological perspective, right? It started here November, December, and we've been going down, 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 day after day, week after week, month after month, So it's kind of like people are psychologically, getting adjusted to the new price, right? They feel complacent, like it's just going to continue to trend down. And it very well could, but it's the longer it goes, the statistically unlikely that's going to happen. So the idea here is that we're going to get a retrace, some type of retracement. So if we take a fib and we just extend it down, we should look out for a retracement somewhere in those levels between $2.30 and $3, or just say between $2 and $3. I think that's coming very soon. So So what we want to see down here is we want to see an impulse, maybe get back up to here, maybe kind of flag out a little bit, maybe pop the high, you know what I mean? And then just, you know, start grinding your way back up here. So it could be fast, you know, like for example, if I take a little bit of a bars pattern here, and maybe we just take this wave here, something like that, maybe not so extended, right? Let me actually move that a little bit over here. So we come up, build a base, play around a little bit, maybe shoot up, back test it, and then, you know, continue getting up there. So yeah, I'm bullish on Theta until, you know, until we get into those retracement levels, and then we'll reevaluate. So yeah, I think, you know, it looks really good. I think this is buying opportunity. This is dollar cost averaging all day long, right? I mean, you know, you can't, I mean, 67 cents, you can't beat it. Look, the all-time high for Theta was $15. If you have conviction that Theta will go back to the all-time high, right? So the all-time high is, what is it, $15 or $16? Yeah, almost $17. So there's the all-time high, and it's at 67 cents. So, I mean, eventually we're going to get back there. You know, I don't know how long it's going to take, but eventually we will get back there. So there's basically there's two ideas here for Theta. One is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A. And then you have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and then you would get either 5 or 3 waves up. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up. So very aggressive, very, you know, if this is A, B, C, it's going to be very aggressive to the upside. The C wave is going to be aggressive. The reason why is because when you look at this A, B, C, look at the C wave. It's always the most aggressive wave. So yeah, and here's another one here. So you have 3 waves up, okay? You got 3 waves down, and look how fast and aggressive that was for so that's A, B, C right there. So look at the C wave, right? So basically this right here, so if you look at Theta like this, right? So you have rise, crash, retrace, right? So that's what Theta is on the big time frames. Rise, crash, retrace, right? So basically this small fractal right here is actually just a larger is a larger fractal from here. So let me just pull this up there, and so something like this right here, right, where you have hold on a minute, you have the rise, the crash, the crash. Okay, so you have 3 waves up, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves down, and then a massive retrace, massive, fast, aggressive, hardcore retrace, right? And then you can say, well, what happens after that? A big crash? Well, I don't think we're going to get something like that. I think it would go into reaccumulation though, right? So 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, right? And then that's an A, B, C. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A. This whole thing is a B. And if it really wanted to, we can come all the way down here for a C and then go back up later. I just feel like that would just be too big. But I mean, ask XRP if it's too big. XRP took 7 years for it to break out, right? And it's, you know, the longer it takes, actually, the better it is, because the more structure gets built and the more long-term sustainability you have for the asset that you've invested in. So, but yeah, the other idea would be that this is a 3-wave move and it's finished. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, 1, 2, 3, B, and now this is 1, 2, 3. You're going to get 4 and then 5 down for C and then go up. So that's what we don't know. So that's why we have to wait and see what it looks like. Do we get a retrace or do we get a 4th wave and then a 5th wave to the downside, right? Because this is 1, 2. This could be 3. We can come up for 4 and then come down for 5. I don't think so, though. I mean, it's kind of hard to know right now, you know, when you're looking that far out. But let's just focus on the first step. The first step is what? Holding this support. The second step is what? Building structure. That's what we're doing. The third step is what? Starting to push higher, breaking above this high here, breaking above this high. So getting back above $1, you know, breaking out, back testing, breaking out, you know what I mean? So it's a journey. It's going to be interesting. But look how long it took for us to get back up here. I mean, it was very short. So we went up, let's see, measurement from the bottom to the top. That was about 240%. We went up $2.41. But, oh, I forgot to do that. How long did it take from here up to here? It took 16 bars. So about a month. It took approximately 30 days, right around there. So you'd be surprised how fast things can move in 30 days. You think, oh, wow, that's so far away. You know, it's going to take time to get all the way up here. It might be to the end of the... No, sometimes it happens fast. Again, C waves are always aggressive. So how long did it take? So we're down here. So if I stretch this out over here and I come all the way up to here, that took about 137 days. Obviously, you had this big move there, though. But really, from here, and we're not that far away from there. We'll start it there. That took about 50 days, right? So, you know, 30 days, 50 days, 100 days, which one is it? Well, I would imagine it's going to be probably around that 40, 50, 60 day mark. Timing is so hard to know, right? Because first of all, we don't even have we need a little bit of a base here. You know, we need a little bit of time at the low. So yeah, you know, there's Theta. I think it's looking good. Now the alternative. Well, yeah, I already said the alternative, which is this was a B, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C. So basically A, B, C, and then we go up, as opposed to A, B, C, and then we come down, play around, then break out later, you know, maybe rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, breakout, just like XRP. And just like Monero, right? Remember, Monero, same kind of thing. So if you look at Monero, you can see right here, right? You kind of had to move up, and then you had a 3-wave move down, and then look what happened. You have a very aggressive, fast wave to the upside, A, B, C, right? So then what happened? And then you kind of flagged out a little bit, and then you went sideways. So what's the next step? Obviously, the big move up, right? So that is a nice cup and a very long handle, if you look at it like that. So Monero, obviously, it's a slow burner. It's taking time. It's kind of like gold and silver. Just, you know, takes a little longer. But essentially, you know, we were in this little range here. And you can kind of see, right? You got 3 waves up. And then you have 1, 2, 3 waves down. Same thing, right? And then what happens next? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you got 5. Okay? So that's an A, B, C. And, you know, hopefully, though, we can continue higher, right? Maybe we flag out a little bit, maybe we go sideways a little bit, and then continue the momentum. But the important thing is, to me, this is sort of like a Wyckoff accumulation. We broke out, and now we're back testing the top of it. So notice we have a bottom and we have a double bottom. But not only that, but we also have an A, B, C. Not also, that's a running flat. So this is a flat pattern. A, B, C, running flat. Double bottom, double back test, right? Not only that, but we're flagging out, right? When you oscillate to the downside, statistically speaking, you break to the upside. So there you go. I think we're going to break out. Now this could go sideways here for a little bit before going up, you know, so we got some time to do. We got some time to get things moving, right? So here's a trend line here, kind of a trend line there, and you can see we got up here. So the question is, do we have to come all the way back down to here? I don't know. I don't think so. It's possible, but you know, because we haven't technically, you know, we tested it in here, and you can see we haven't quite made it down yet. So do we have to officially hit it? Maybe. I don't think so, but we'll see. I don't think so. I don't think we will. Now, if this accelerates really fast, if this comes down very fast, then I'm going to change my mind, right? So we always, you know, it's all about adjusting. You know, if something looks a certain way, but then, you know, 10 days later it looks completely different, then you got to obviously change. But what do we want to see? We want to see this get a three-wave move down. We want to see it kind of flag a little bit, and then maybe sideways a little bit, and then break out. So that's kind of what I'm hoping, and to see if we can get something like that. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's a little bit, I don't know. Oh yeah. Okay, so Bitcoin is. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a diag. That's a wave 1. You got 3 waves down. Okay. And now it looks like you got 3 waves up. So tomorrow's going to be Sunday. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, tomorrow, if we could survive tomorrow, I think we'll be okay for the rest of the week. You know, because over the last maybe several months, Sundays have been terrible, like just complete bloodbaths. So if we get 3 down, 3 up, maybe we can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. This could be an ABC. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, ABC. There's your wave 2, and then we go up for a wave 3 for Bitcoin, right? And you can see the base getting built. Going to the top, going to the bottom, coming up, flagging out. So all the steps are there. Bullish divergence. So yeah, looks pretty good here. Let me bump that up to the 12-hour. Yeah, there's the bullish divergence right there. It's very strong on the 12-hour. Very strong on the 12-hour. What about the daily? I believe the daily is also very strong. Look at that. Totally. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. There's Bitcoin. So basically what we have here is an ABC. This is an expanded flat with bullish divergence. You almost back tested the top of the 4th wave. So the question is, do we go up and set one more wave? I think we have a very good chance at doing that. If not, then we at least should get a retrace back to 100 before coming down. And that could be like A, B, C. And then we go up for one more top and then kind of be done with it. So there's different options that could take place. But the point is, we want to rally. We want it to be a little bit, we want it to get people excited. We want it to really translate into the altcoin market. So, and that comes down to XRP, the greatest coin ever created. Just kidding. I mean, honestly, it has been really great as far as price action goes. But I don't think it's over yet. I think it's just beginning. I think we're just beginning to go into that price discovery phase, right? Because it's all about price discovery. So we have not made a new all-time high yet. We have not sustained above this beautiful, massive base that we see right here. This thing is huge, right? And we're still within it, right? So this is a pressure cooker. So what happens when you officially break out? It's going to be powerful. It's going to be massive. Maybe not so much in percentage terms, but in excitement terms, it will be, right? Because in percentage terms, it's not the greatest. I mean, because if you think about it, we're pretty high up there already. So if you look at the percentages from where we are, and then let's say we go up to like maybe $10, you're looking at like a 4x, 3 to 4x. So it's not really that exciting for percentages, but trust me, you get $9, $10, it's going to be exciting. The reason why is because I would imagine most people bought down in here. At least I know I did. So if you started from here and then go up to $8, $9, $10, now you're looking at like a 20x move there, right? So it's a major difference. So yeah, I believe that's what's going to happen. I believe this will break out. 100%, I believe that. Now, you can't technically say 100%, right? So I would say at least in the 90%. And what would be the reason why it wouldn't break out? Well, the only reason why this would fail is because either the stock market has major problems with the tariff narrative, the fear narrative they're trying to shove down our throat. It could be, Bitcoin. I mean, but honestly, this is years and years in the making. I don't think a short-term disruption is going to cause a long-term directional change, if that makes sense. So no matter what happens, maybe you get some volatility. Maybe you have to come down and tag 150 again. Whatever. I think eventually you're going to break out. And I don't even think we're going to 150. I think the bottom could be in now. If you look at the size of wave 2 and if you look at the size of wave 4, it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same. So if we take the top of the candle, we'll take the green one here and we'll go to the bottom. That's about 100 days or so. Right around there, between 90 and 100 days. So if you do the same thing here, we're right about 8. We're almost to, no, sorry, let me go one more over. Yeah, we're right there. Look at that, 96. 96 days right there. So we have exactly the exact same amount of time. So the degree in the second and the degree in the fourth are basically identical, which means what? Which means we should be on the lookout for a wave 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's coming very soon. We'll see, hopefully. I could be wrong. Obviously, it's not financial advice. I could be wrong. Maybe it doesn't happen. I don't know. But to me, as long as I've been doing this, it feels really good. The reason why it feels really good is because we have all the necessary steps that I look for. And what are those steps? Well, first of all, are we impulsing down or correcting down? We are correcting down. That's step number 1. That's what we want. Number 2, do we have a 3-wave move? Yes, we do. We have a 3-wave move, A, B, C. Not only that, but do we have a three-way move in C or Y, WXY? Yes, we do. We have 3 down, we have 3 up, and we have 3 back down. So we have a completed 3, 3, 3. So this is a 3-wave move. So the next step would be, okay, after that, do we have equal length? Do we have 3 in wave Y? Yes, we do, right there, 3. Is it equal length from here to here? Yes, it is. That's equal length, just about. All right, so there you go. Those are all the steps. Do we have now, another thing we need to look for is, do we have 5 waves off the low? Yes, we do. We have 5 waves off the low. It's not an impulse, but it's a diag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have it perfect, right? Okay, now do we have a 3-way pullback? Yes, we do, but I don't know if it's finished yet, because the 3-way pullback can always be more complex. First of all, we could get 3 down, and this can come up in 3, and then we can get 3 back down, and it becomes a bigger 3, more proportional with this 5-wave leg. So if I take a trend base, I don't usually do this, but if I take a time-based fib extension, okay, wave 2, maybe wave 2 is done. It's kind of, I'm not so sure how to do it. I think it's, let me just double click. Yeah, I think that's it there. Okay. So yeah, wave 2, you want wave 2 to end somewhere right in around here. And it did. I mean, you know, I'm not saying it ended, but that's kind of where the 3-way, so if you look, A, B, C, if you look at the 3-way pullback, that kind of landed right in those fib levels of where the 3rd wave should be. So technically it is big enough. But it could get bigger, you know, it could get bigger. This could be, so it could be like, oh, you got 3 down, and this could be like a flat, and then you have 1 more wave down, you know, and then move up. I you know, it's a tough one to say, because I don't think we're gonna break below that 196. As long as we stay above 196, I think we're good. Because if you see this range right here, you know, this is kind of like a shoulder. You have a head, and look what it's doing, guys. It's kind of coming down. It's flattening out. If it starts to round up again, well, look what you got. You got a shoulder. Okay, so what's the measured move of this inverse head and shoulders? So if I take, where is the head and shoulders pattern? I thought there was, yeah, there we go. So we have a shoulder, left shoulder, and then we have the head, and then here's the right shoulder right there. So, but what would be the measured move? So if I take it from the head, I could take it from the body, or I can do it from the wick. Wow, that's going to be pretty big, I think. That's going to be pretty big. That's going to get us all the way back to $3. Wow. And oh, look at that. And you know what? That makes perfect sense, because that's exactly where we need to be. Because if you take this line, let's put these 2 lines up here. That's exactly where we need to go. Those 2 lines between, you know, this little range right here is where we need to break out of to confirm, really to really confirm the move up, right? So yeah, I think this can curl up. So here's my prediction. You know, I don't like making predictions, but especially when it comes to time. But I do like making long-term predictions. But if I had to make a slight prediction here, I would assume that within the next couple weeks, XRP will be back at 260, 270, 280, maybe even $3. And how much time am I going to give myself? That's always the hard part, man. That's always so hard. But if I would had to imagine, I would probably say, based on how much development we have. See, the thing is I don't know if this is going to be 3 up and then we have to come 3 down and then start working your way up. You know, that could delay us by weeks and weeks. So that's why it's always very challenging. But if everything were to go perfectly as planned, I would say within 2 weeks or maybe the end of April. Maybe the end of April, beginning of May, somewhere around there. I think we can get back up here. Because I think when, let me get rid of all this. I think when we break from this level right here, we're going to probably get stalled out around there and then right there. Right? So we could probably get up here. So once we break this line, I think we can shoot really fast. So if we break 220, I think we're going to go really quick up to 240. If we break 240, I think we can go really quick up to 263. And then once we break 263 to 280, I mean, then you really only have one more little zone left, and that's this zone right there. So this is the gap that we have, the price gap that we have, right? So as soon as we break this line, we can really accelerate pretty fast up there. And another reason why we would accelerate is because we would be then breaking above what? The supply line, right? The resistance line, right? Because where's your trend line? You don't even have a trend line here. You don't have any trend line, right? You have, you have a rising or you have a falling trend line here. So, but yeah, once we break above this downward resistance line, I think we can shoot up pretty fast up to here. And I think that's coming very soon. So maybe even next week. Who knows? I mean, it looks primed. It looks like it could happen very fast. So we shall see. I think that's it. Oh, and since we're on the topic, not the topic, but since we're looking at XRP, let's take a look at the topic of price. I mean, let's take a look at a price target. So if I take a trend-based fib extension, and we'll do a minor one first, from this diagonal to the top, and whoops, that's the wrong one. I need a trend-based fib. Okay, let's do that again. So if we take it from here to the top, and then considering that this is the bottom, it might not be because the B wave could be, more complex. For example, it could be like this, and then if that's the case, we would have to drag this down. So if it is the low, then we'll just keep it there, right? But that's why we need to confirm it first. So anyway, oh, look at that. The 1618 gives us right at 303. That is the exact target of the inverse head and shoulders that we just measured out, right? So the measured move of this head is, I didn't use the wick, so it's going to be a little shorter. But yeah, it's right there. It's right around that, area. So that's kind of cool. If we dragged it down a little bit, you're looking at 290 or so. But either way, it's pretty cool. It's a good target. So, but let's do a regular Fibonacci. So from the very top all the way down to the bottom, and you can see we're resting right on the 236. That's interesting. I didn't even know that. Yeah, we're resting right on the 236. So the objective, the main objective for XRP is to do what? Is to get back above the 702, right? The 618 and the 702 and the 886, or the 786 rather. So if we break those 3 lines, then we should have no problem whatsoever hitting 450 up to $5. So, yeah. And then the 4.236 comes in at 926. So I believe that's where I'm going to start. If we get up to that $7, $8, $9, I'm going to be definitely taking profits. So, if we get like a mega candle and it starts kind of doing this thing like this, and it starts flagging out like this, and then we just completely melt up, I probably would hold off a little bit. You know, it really depends on the size of the character of the wave, right? So we really only have 5 waves left. So we only have 2 waves left. So if this is wave 1 and this is wave 2, we only have 2 waves left. So if this would be wave 3 and then 4, and then we would go for wave 5, and then that should be the end, right? So we really have 1, 2 waves to the upside left, and that would be it. So that's it for Bitcoin, or I'm sorry, XRP. We could do one more little extension, and that would be from from the very beginning, which is down here, and then you come all the way to the top, and then you drag it down, and there you go. Those are some fresh targets there. So I would look for, 6 to 650, 8 to 9, and then of course 11 up to 14 even. I don't think we're gonna get to 14. It really depends. It's really hard to know because, first of all, we've never had a crypto with such a massive structure, right? So we don't really know exactly how massive this is going to be because of how massive the base is, right? If you look at Bitcoin real quick, you could see Bitcoin right here. And if I put my cursor on, so if you look at Bitcoin, I'm at the all-time high, and then you can see Bitcoin had already bottomed here, but XRP has not, right? And then what happened? And then Bitcoin actually shot up all the way up from here. So you can see massive pump for Bitcoin, but look at XRP. It did nothing. It did nothing, right? And then what happened? And then it flagged out and it had COVID. And obviously that was right here. And then that's when the bull run started. But that's when the retrace started for XRP. So that's how much bigger this is. So you had a rise, crash, retrace, and then you went into reaccumulation. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. So you see that very clearly, right? And that's when you got the massive explosion. And this is the beginning of that massive explosion. But we don't know how big it's going to be because of how long in time this has been building, right? I think about it like a pressure cooker. Bitcoin's pressure cooker was from 2018 to 2020. So really not that long, like what, 3 or 4 years or right around there, right? Because it happened at the beginning of 2018 and this was towards, so yeah. So like, 3.5 years or so, we built this base and we got that target. But this is not 3.5 years. This is almost 8 years. And you could say, well, why does that make it better or worse? Because again, think of it kind of like a pressure cooker. It's basically XRP is a bull run behind. Okay, XRP did not go on a bull run with Theta, with Matic, with Ethereum, with Bitcoin, with ADA, with Solana, with with Dogecoin, right? XRP did not do that. So what that means is XRP is a bull run behind. That's why we see XRP performing so well, because it is so undervalued compared to the rest of the market. But not now, right? Now we're sort of we're leveling the playing field as far as percentages goes. Because if we look at XRP .D, which is dominance, you can see the dominance, right? We were pretty much down in the dumps for a while, right? Now we're sort of in the middle here, right? So we have one more wave up to get to the top, because I look at dominance like an oscillator, right? You get to the bottom, buy aggressively. Get to the top, sell. Get to the bottom, buy, right? So you have this three-wave move that's in the works here. But if you notice, you have 1, 2, 3. It looks like we're getting 4. Let's get 5. So you have A, B, C. And then that's another reason why I don't think we're finished. I think we got more upside. So don't let the tariff, don't let the fake news fool you. I like VeChain. Look at VeChain. I like the way that looks. That looks very nice. Do we have bullish divergence on VeChain? Well, that's the 5 days, so it's going to be very hard to get it on the 5 day. But yeah, on the 3 day we do, so that's good enough for me. As long as it's, around the 8-hour, daily, 12-hour, I'm cool with it. Depending on the time frame. So VeChain looks, I mean, they're all going to be relatively the same, right? You got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if this is a wave 1, you get back to the top. It would make sense that this is like a shoulder, and then we start rounding up for a head, and then we come down for another shoulder, and then you get back up to here somehow, some way. That's VeChain. This is the contract. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So is this a 1, 2, 1, 2? It can't be, because we took the low. We took the low. So then this could be obviously A, B, C, right? So you have 3 waves up. And believe it or not, but this is 3 waves down. It's a flat. So then you would expect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up. So boom, boom, boom. All right, let's go to the beginning of the, let's take a look at H bar real quick since we're here. H bar looks nice. It's flagging out. Eventually it's going to break out. I think that's pretty much it. We covered a lot yesterday. Is there anything I'm excited for? I'm excited for SHIB. I think SHIB, I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but I think SHIB is going to be really cool. I think it's going to be, the reason I like SHIB so much is because it's very tight. It's got a very tight range. There's no overboughtness, right? We just really had one bull run, right? But we had all of this sideways consolidation. We have a really nice sort of 3-wave move up, 3-wave move down. I like the proportions of it. I like how this third leg back test perfectly this zone here, right? So it looks like a really nice base that got built in here, right? So this thing's probably going to fly. I think it's going to do very well. Now, it's not going to be melt your face off well, but I think it's going to do exceptionally well. So I think this thing could get up to maybe even 100 billion, or even more than that, So for sure, I'm targeting at least a 10x for SHIB, and then we'll reevaluate from there. So I'm excited for Matic too. Very excited for Matic. I think Matic is going to be exciting because this is not the full chart, but basically you had this big wave here. You had 3 down, you had 3 up, and you had 3 back down. You got a major flag here. I think it looks great. Ethereum versus Bitcoin looks like a complete capitulation, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing, because once we get it, then it's only up from there, right? So if I had any Bitcoin on, which I do, but if I had extra Bitcoin, I would probably get rid of it and put it in Ethereum. The reason why, because it's just, it just looks really oversold. I mean, Ethereum versus Bitcoin is the most oversold it's ever been, ever. I mean, look at the weekly, or look at the 10-day. It's just, this is off the charts, guys. This is off the charts. I mean, this is insane how sold it is, right? And that's the 10-day, you know, the weekly too. But all right, there you go. What else is going on? Let's take a look at, what about Axie Infinity? This one was insane. I mean, this thing went from like nothing all the way up to almost like, what was that, like $180 or so. It was one of the biggest winners by far, this coin right here. I mean, look at this percentage wise. I mean, look at that. That's, oh my God. You're looking at, come on, if I can get it right on the dot there, you're looking at like 165,000%. What is that, 165x or something like that? Or is that 1,000x? No, I think it's 160. Anyway, I haven't looked at IMX in a little bit. Looks okay. Uniswap, yeah, whatever. Filecoin. Now, Filecoin I'm interested in because of how, I mean, the all-time high on Filecoin was pretty insane, you know. If I could get a better chart here. Yeah, so 3 waves up, 3 waves down, looking for a big, fat, super aggressive move to the upside. And that would be a 335. That would be an ABC. We want a 3-wave move up, get to the retrace, right? And then probably down from there, maybe sideways, and then hopefully breaking out from there. That's kind of how I envision it. You know, you got a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off. So take a screenshot of that and send it to me in three or 4 years and see if it worked out or not. Floki. I don't like this. You got 5. But I do like the 3. You probably can get back up here, but who cares? I don't really care about that. Quant, I think Quant will do well. I just don't really care about the shape. I think this is a double 3 pattern where you have, I can't remember. Let me look. So here's an example of a double 3, kind of like this. You know, you got like boom, and then it comes back down. There's different examples, right? So, you know, you can kind of see that in the works here. Yeah, I'm not too confident on Quant, but I believe it will do well. So, all right, well, I haven't looked at Pepe in a long time. So Pepe obviously had 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I wouldn't, you know, either this is it's probably gonna get a retrace and then a C wave before it can go higher. So I wouldn't even mess with Pepe. I could be wrong, but you know, we'll see. This coin looks interesting to me. Very, very interesting, because you have this very nice impulse and you have a very nice 3-way pullback. And what is that percentage range to the all-time high? Yeah, that's not too bad. You know, it looks good. This one looks like Axie Infinity. Basically, this could have been Theta. You know, that's why I'm saying like Theta was more bullish, because if you look, they both had a base, but what did Theta do? Theta went up in 3, and then it came down in 3, and now it's like right here. Versus this one, where it basically just, it couldn't hold on, you know? And part of it is because, you know, we started off at 41 cents, and this, oh my goodness, this thing went up massively all the way up to, yeah, this was 120,000 plus % move. So of course it's going to be very, very weak, right? So that's why I wouldn't even mess with it. And, you know, I would wait until it gets even more damaged. Now, and this one looks pretty good, injective. This one looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then A, B, C. I mean, this is perfect. You can't, this is like textbook right here. You can't go wrong with it. The only thing I would say is you kind of you need to get away from the scene of the crime. right? You know, you don't want to go straight up and straight down and then straight back up, because then you're going to have problems. So maybe we get up to here and then we play around and then we go up. That would be nice. Look out for injective. I would have to put this one on my radar, because let's take a real quick look at the target. Why not? From injective here, boom, all the way down. There we go. 1618, $90, and we're at $8. So what is that, like? Almost 1500, no, 1200%. Yeah, that's pretty good. 4.236, 2500%. So anywhere between a 10 and 25x potential for injective. Not bad at all. Helium is also interesting. Impulse, three-way pullback. COREUM. Wow, COREUM looks very interesting, because it just a lot of potential. I think you got this base right in here, and it's kind of slanted to the downside. I like that. I don't know if there's previous price history, but the only thing I can say is I like this pullback right here. You got an impulse and you're flagging out. So this thing could very well easily just shoot up. And it's interesting because I would actually own this coin, because, you know, if you break out, you can go into price discovery very, very fast. I mean, look at that, 23,000% on that wick there. That's insane. I'm definitely going to have to do more research on COREUM, because there's really no overhead resistance. I mean, really, the sky's the limit. I don't even know the tokenomics on it and all that. So I'm actually, so COREUM is listed, wow, it's like number 500 or 497. So it's definitely a small market cap for sure. Let's take a look at the tokenomics here. So, okay, so this, wow, that's not that much. That's very small. So the circulating supply is 384 million coins. Now, just to give you a frame of reference, if XRP is 50 billion coins, 50 billion, 60 billion. Well, the max supply is 100 billion. I think the circulating supply is like 50 or 60 billion coins for XRP. I haven't checked in a while, but XRP is, you know, all-time high is $3. This is only 12 cents, and you only have, you know, not that much. So, but you do have a lot in the total. I wonder how the inflation is. You're still quite a little, you're more than half, but you're a little ways away from being completely there. But, you know, it's still only 12 cents. I think that was it. More information. Yeah, not really much on here. And probably don't even have any futures that we can trade it. So, anyways, there you go. Oh, the market cap. What was the market cap? Wow, the market cap is less than $50 million. That is, wow. So this all, you know, that's pretty impressive, right? But it has to do well. You know, it's always a risk, you know. That's why you don't put all your money in these small caps, right? Very, very small cap, less than $50 million. And there's less than $200,000 in volume. So good luck getting your $10 million order filled. Anyways, I might throw some money here, and if that ever pops up, man, that would be a massive return. Definitely keep an eye out for this one. I think it'll do well. It has a unique shape, very much so. I could look at all these charts, but I think I'm gonna hold it there. I want to get to our usual suspects. Let's take a look at, hold on a minute here. Trying to get back to the top. Okay, so let's take a look at ICP. ICP, I'm very excited for ICP. So ICP is number 37. Just want to, so it's a $2.4 billion market cap, basically. The circulating supply is relatively close to the total, but you never know about the max. But relatively speaking, it should be pretty good. So yeah, I mean, it definitely has a lot of potential here. Anyways, there's ICP. I think it'll be a good one. You know, though really I don't really count that as a high. That's just kind of like an open, but anywhere between 80 and maybe like $100 would be the all-time high, but that's pretty impressive. But you know, granted, we are at $5, so it's probably not too impressive. But yeah, you're still looking at like a 16x move, 1600% there. So, anyways, I really like it because obviously it has the same shape as theta, right? You have 3 waves up, you have 3 waves down. So we would expect 5 waves, very fast, very vicious. And I don't see a lot of people calling for that. I don't see a lot of people call. And here's what could cause such a major rally, such a very vicious, fast rally. Number 1, tax cuts. Those are coming up very soon. Number 2, regulations. Number 3, tariff, right? Because remember, Trump gave 90 days. So what happens when that 90 days is up? Obviously, that's the timeline in which they're doing deals, right? The Trump administration is doing deals all day long with different countries. So I don't know how many countries they've already knocked out, but basically they have 90 days to do all the countries. And then you have one country over here, China. So once this gets fixed, and then we get the tax cuts, then we get regulation, then we get China. I mean, we got a lot of ammunition. So look forward to that. And same thing with near. Same thing with near. I really like it a lot too. ADA, can't go wrong with ADA. Litecoin, keep an eye out for Litecoin. I think Litecoin, its glory days are not quite over. XLM, also XLM looks, I mean, look at XLM. It looks, I think XLM, to be quite honest, is one of the most sexiest looking flags. I mean, look at that. It's just so perfect. It's so orderly. It's so, I don't know. It just looks really nice and tight. The tighter it is, the better, right? When you have a real tight range, it's really good, right? Look how it's when you squeeze something very massively. Look at this. Look how squeezed it got. It was very, very squeeze, and then bam. So that's what we should expect, right? 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and then a very fast, aggressive wave up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very fast and aggressive. That's what we should expect for ICP. Where is ICP? ICP's like down here, guys. And near, and theta, and a lot of them. So anyway, that'll do it for this video. I thought that was a good video. I thought it was. So hit the like if you can. Maybe even share it. That would be cool. And yeah, not financial advice. And I will, if you can, drop a like, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.